This screencast is on the Unit 3, Part 1 quiz warm-up. So looking at problem 1, we are going to graph our line of y equals 2. So first off, when we look at this, you will probably notice that there is no x value. So if there is no x value, you could rewrite it as y equals 0x plus 2. But what's going to happen is we're going to plot our point on the y-axis at 2. And then this is going to result in a horizontal line, straight across left and right. So what happens is the slope is 0. So we're not going up, we're not going down, we're just going left or right. Problem 2, we have x equals -5. So when x is by itself, this is a vertical line. If you have no y value, you're going to plot your point on the x-axis at -5, and then we're going to have that line go straight up and down. And then that's it. No shading for these problems. You're just graphing those lines. All right, problem 3 and problem 4 will both be diagonal lines because we have a y value and an x value. So looking at number 3, you want to identify your y-intercept. Well, there's nothing added or subtracted at the end. So in this case, this is kind of like plus 0. So we are starting at the origin. We're starting at 0, 0. And then we can identify our slope, which is 4/5. So it's +4 and +5. So we're going to go up 4 blocks and over 5. Up 4 blocks and over 5. And then we are going to connect and we're going to draw our line. Again, no shading. There's no inequality for this problem. For number 4, we're going to do the same thing. We are going to start with our y-intercept, but notice that there's nothing added or subtracted at the end, so we're going to start at 0 again, at 0, 0. Our slope for problem 4 is that -1. So we're going to go down 1, over 1, always moving to the right. We can do a couple points, and then we're going to connect, and we're going to make our line. Okay, move into the next page. So now we have an inequality, and notice that it says shade the inequality. So again, we are missing that x value. So we're going to put our point at 5, and this is horizontal, but we need to decide if this is a dashed, or like a dotted or a solid line. Since it is missing that equal to symbol underneath, it is going to be a dotted line. So we have our picture. We have a top part and we got a bottom part. So we need to figure out which part we're going to shade. Looking at our inequality, it says y is greater. Well, greater is going to be above. So anything above that would be an answer. Problem 6, we're going to graph, starting with our y-intercept, which is +1. Our slope is -2/3. So we're going to go down 2, over 3, always move to the right, down 2, over 3. And you could do a couple more points if you wanted to. We need to decide, is this line a dotted or a solid line? Since it's missing the equal to symbol, it is dotted. And then we need to decide, all right, looking at our picture, we have the top part, we have the bottom part. Which part should we shade? So looking at our inequality, it says y is less than or equal to. So we are going to shade the less than part, which is going to be below. So anything in that area. And the final problem. So you and your friend have $14 to spend on snacks at the basketball game. Drinks are $2, popcorn is $1. How much can you purchase without going over $14? So let's start by saying, all right, let's make X be our drinks and let's make Y be the popcorn. And you could have this reverse from what I have. It won't matter in the end. So drinks are $2, popcorn is $1. So I'm going to start by saying, all right, 2x plus 1y, or you could just say y. We know that there's $14 to spend and we don't want to go over 14. So we know that it could equal 14. So we want this amount to equal 14 or be less than that. We don't want that amount to go over 14. So we're going to have less than or equal to. So now what we're going to do to graph it is we are going to get that y by itself. We're going to subtract the 2x over. So when we do that, we'll have our y, we'll have our less than or equal to symbol. I like to put my x first, so negative 2x plus my 14. Now we are ready to graph. 14 is our y-intercept, so we're going to put our point at 14. Our slope is negative 2, so we're going to go down 2 blocks over 1 a couple times. And then we want to decide if this is a dotted or a solid line. So again, we're looking at our symbol. Because our symbol has that line underneath there, it is a solid line. So we're going to connect those points. And then we need to shade. So again, looking at your picture, we have a top part of the graph and we have a bottom part of the graph. If you take a look at our inequality, it says that y is less than or equal to. So that's going to be everything on the bottom part of our graph. So any of these combinations of drinks and popcorn, they could purchase and not go over their $14 budget. So you could say, oh, they bought, right here, this point there. They bought 2 drinks and 5 bags of popcorn. Or you could pick this point here and say 0 drinks and 10 bags of popcorn.